evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Triggered. I'm your host, Zachary Clark, and you all know my co-host, Adam Furman.
Hey, Zach.
And featuring,
Wait, I can't quite see you, Zach.
a special guest. At Detty, also known as Detty, also known as her street name on this podcast, apparently. Olivia herself, coming to you straight from the deep state. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Detty. Is that okay? Can I refer to you as that? Is there any other name you would prefer me to use?
Study is wonderful, and thank you very much for having me.
Excellent. Well, we've got a good show for you folks this evening. We happen to be, in fact, let me check. Coming to you live straight from the Twitter headquarters, now populated by 50 engineers and a bunch of rats. Yes, those rats, those are the product managers. Those are the marketing people. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not useful to the enterprise of putting on a website. This is the messaging. This is what Elon has been telling us.
Yeah.
Our new
Them
Twitter
and thousands
lord.
of others.
He's laid off 7,500 people, and he's now running the show with 50 guys in a server room. No? Yeah.
It sounds accurate. I mean, I don't know.
Yes?
Detty was saying that he was actually going wild on stream.
Yeah. Oh, I just pulled it up because I realized there's no context. So he tweeted out a poll. He said, reinstate former President Trump, yes or no? And it's currently at 56% yes, 44% no. Underneath it, he posted Vox Populi, voice of the people.
I saw that. I voted yes. I definitely don't think Trump will ever come back to Twitter.com. But I think that he shouldn't be banned under the new guidance. He did. Elon posted just before this, earlier today. He had said that a number of accounts that had been banned, he was bringing back, in that Twitter had a new policy. Twitter's new policy is freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. That is, negative hate tweets will be max deboosted and demonetized, so no ads or other revenue go to Twitter. But you won't find the tweet unless you specifically seek it out, which is no different from the rest of the internet. And then he unbanned Jordan Peterson, Kathy Griffith in the Babylon Bee.
Jordan Peterson was banned?
Oh, yes. He got banned.
Did I miss that? I completely missed that.
I can't even remember what it was about now, but the good doctor had been a bit unhinged on Twitter.com. And he was unhinged when he came back, as a matter of fact. Because he replied to Elon's tweet reinstating him with, "Don't allow the anonymous troll demons to post with the real verified people at Elon Musk. You gotta put them in their own hell, along with the others like them." And then he went off on some lols, bruh, hyper users are narcissistic, Machiavellian, psychopathic, and sadistic. And I didn't understand half of that.
So he's describing me. Okay. He doesn't like me, does he?
I don't know. Me and Adam are face on Twitter.com, so we don't fall into that bucket.
Brave men.
Gotta watch my words anyways.
It's just nice. You should just be polite anyway. There's no need to hide your face.
There is. That's easy for you to say.
What?
When you're a woman, it's different. That's all I'm saying.
What, you get like 10 times the engagement? Is that what you're trying to get at?
You get a different type of engagement.
Well, that's true, I suppose.
This is a women's issue episode, so I'm adding in the...
Well, I did decide that we are going to figure out women tonight, so, you know,
It's
lay
fun
it all
because
out there.
I mean, to me, I think the way you present yourself and speak, it's usually clear, but people always think I'm a man, which confuses me. But I don't know. I don't. It's because if you have like an avatar that's of a male, they just assume you're a man. But there are plenty of men who have avatars of women, and nobody's automatically like it's a chick. Da da da.
I think that the automatic assumption is that everybody's a guy, and then they're just being catfished.
Oh, the original internet rule, yeah, like early 2000s
Yeah.
porn posting. It's like a 40-year-old guy named Dave who's creeping on you. That's true.
But it is true. Like most of the anime girl avatars are guys.
Yeah, it's all guys. I feel like
Very
it's more
guy-coded.
the energy of the image. Like I was a skeleton for a long time, and I just related to that. And then I went to the monk with the memento mori, which I felt conveyed the energy I wanted to give off.
Yeah, I don't know. I make no assumptions. I'm one of the new males on the internet. I roll with everything because you don't know. It could be a woman, it could be a man, it could be neither or both, and you have no idea nowadays. Like Adam there, for instance.
Yeah. I don't know what. That's my picture is clear, and then my engagement with others, there's just like content neutral as far as gender goes. Unless their profile picture is like their face and they're a guy, and it's like, and then I'll say bro, but that's about it.
It could just be a fake picture. I don't know. I've been tricked before. That's all I'm saying.
What?
I did take that picture of you. I believe that is your profile picture.
You did. Yes.
So, I feel like I've got a hand in that cookie jar.
It would have gone to my personal website, but it was blurry, so it works in this one.
I don't know. You know what I do know? That we haven't talked about the Scan Radio. Daddy, we have a segment on the show called the Scanner Radio. Scanner Radio, where
I thought you were having a seizure and I'm going.
It's the intro. It's the slight intro track to the thing.
It boosts the energy. The segment is about local news.
Yeah, it's got that small town fanfare feel to it.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask. I read your little description. It said local Illinois news, so I was curious when we reached that segment.
And we're here right now. We feature posts from the Scanner Radio, which is a local police scanner watching Facebook page. And first up we have dun, 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 somebody's driving like an a-hole. What the heck?
What are you? What is
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Alexa, enhance.
Caught.
Whoa, what's this guy doing? He's driving through the thing, but I don't really care about that guy. I mean, he was driving like a maniac or whatever, coming through the intersection like that. But I
didn't even see it. What?
You didn't see it? Okay.
Yeah, wait, what's the scandal here?
All right, so this guy is driving down the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the turn lane. He's getting ready to turn left. And then this guy, what's he doing? He's spinning out. He's in the turn lane. But no, he's swinging across the intersection.
I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Outrageous.
These are people who aren't used to New York drivers. That's nothing to me. He was slightly in his lane. That's not even...
This is how a family of 5 died.
That is pretty much how that happened. There was a horrific traffic accident probably 6 months ago, and something similar to this happened. People were murdered. She is currently in prison, I believe.
Yep.
But what was really interesting about this wasn't the guy who pulled a reckless maneuver traveling through the intersection haphazardly, but it was that this person has a dash cam, and I want one of them very bad.
You could be like one of those Russian guys who just has the dash cam and they stream as they drive around.
Absolutely. Do you know why all the Russians have dash cams?
Do people just hit and run all the time?
Oh yeah, that's insurance scam after insurance scam. It became like a necessary car feature at one point in time. So they have to.
Just just like the breathalyzers for in the couple years.
Don't get me started. I can't believe that that's
The
true.
Russians have their insurance scams. We have our DUI problems.
Yeah, but some of those Russian videos are wild. And the best part is, once everybody is recording everything all the time, you're going to capture some really wild stuff. And that's how you got like those multiple angles on that meteor explosion that one time.
Yeah.
But I feel like I really need to get one so that I can capture my community as it truly is.
Mm-hmm. Gonzo car journalism.
I think it's wonderful. This, along with my newsletter and all the other things I have planned that will never happen. Although
It will.
this has low entry level because it's just buying like a dash cam and figuring out how to hook it. Okay, we've already gone too far. I'm never going to do this. It's fine.
This is making me kind of want one because, like, when I drive through Brooklyn and the Belt Parkway and all that, I feel there's a lot of content there waiting to be mined. I mean, it's basically like a derby, so maybe some people would find it exciting.
Absolutely, I think that it's just not a problem yet. I don't feel like. I mean, maybe after society collapses a little bit more, they'll have more insurance scammers. But there's guys are basically like just in traffic, stopped. A person walks in front of them and then like throws themselves onto the hood of their car, and it's like, you hit me. Insurance claim.
My mom said when she was in school in New York in the 80s, that would happen. And she said, like, people would rear-end her parents when they were visiting. And she said, just keep going. I guess it was a little wild in 1985, but around Columbia.
Wild times. See? But now we have the technology, Detty. We can fight back against the insurance scammers.
We have cameras now.
Ring and dash cam panopticon. Every single street, every doorway, every car, every millisecond of your life.
Absolutely. I will have 360 coverage around me 24/7. No.
Did you see about this kill switch thing that they want to make mandatory in cars by like 2030 or something? Where they can make a kill switch in cars for like police to use? That seemed a little scary.
Sounds like Minority Report.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I love internal combustion engines. I'm going to drive one until they drag me out of it. I refuse to get anything else.
100%. Also, I need to get like a 1960s one, apparently, because they're trying to install kill switches and all sorts of stuff. But that wasn't too new. I mean, I didn't hear about the police thing, even though that sounds crazy intrusive.
Yeah, they like snuck it in one of the recent things they passed.
They passed, and I don't know if this was a national highway safety thing or if it was an Illinois thing. I can't remember now, but it was. Adam was talking about the breathalyzers. They were going to make the Bade devices that you have to blow into mandatory in every automobile manufactured. So you have to blow into this thing to make sure you're not, intoxicated before you can drive your car.
So we'll all just have to get farm use vehicles so we can all do whatever we want. I bet they're exempt. That's what we should do. That's the loophole.
Well, Obama didn't cube all of them. So there's still some junkers laying around out there if you can find them for like $40,000. I got a 1992 Ford F-150, 300,000 miles.
Yeah.
40 grand.
1994 Chevy Lumina.
40 grand for that? Are you serious? I could have bought that for $2,000 3 years ago. It's like, that was 3 years ago, brother.
I'm just excited for when it's all electric cars. It's going to be crazy because when there's a car crash and two electric cars crash into each other, like the fires are going to be bananas.
Oh, lithium fires on every street.
And then you have all the batteries from the cars that are just going to be obsolete every 5 years. There's just going to be like massive lithium fields. And then they're going to be next to the windmill turbines that are all sitting there. It's going to
have the intersections with the accidents are just going to be roped off for 10 years because of hazmat.
Exactly.
You two are painting such a beautiful picture of the future.
I know. I'm going to write my Don Quixote 2035. It's going to be incredible.
Oh, I look forward to that. Next up, we have a report of a person. Not just any person, but a person on State Street. Not just any person on State Street. It's a person with no shoes or socks on State Street, standing outside and waving their arms. QPD in the area, not seeing anyone matching that description. And once again,
you're not matching the description of arm waving.
There were several barefoot people standing in the street in 32-degree weather.
I was going to say, it's cold.
But no arm waving. But once again, why are we involving the police in this stuff? A guy can't just stand in the street waving his arms, having a good time, without having the cops called on him.
Having a good time.
Absolutely outrageous. It's like me next time I take a nap in the grass. I don't want to have some cop poking me. I'm relaxing. Outrageous. The police involvement in this day and age. I can't abide it. Oh, and go
I had
ahead.
no police scanners. I would have brought some examples of my own because the local paper has wild ones. I'll remember it for next time.
There wasn't very much exciting stuff in this one. Sometimes there's very fun things. Like multi-person bat fights. Of course.
Oh yeah, hammer fights.
We're
people fighting stoplights.
Sign. Oh man, we haven't had a good street sign fight in a while. We're some doped up idiots are trying to battle the road signage. Very interesting. Fight season has officially ended though. As soon as we get our first snow, and we did, so it should be relatively calm going into the holidays. To kick off again for the first warm weekend in spring. Maybe we'll have Detty back for the fight season kickoff. But that's not all. Finally, for the scanner to wrap it up, you may have heard, but it was the final lunar eclipse until like 2027 or something like this. And boy, did they get magnificent photographs on the scanner. Oh, check it out.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Oh,
I like that.
High def. I think there might be 5 pixels in that photograph.
Hey, it's nice. They tried.
This is about every picture I've ever taken of the moon.
I looked outside and it was cloudy. It was just all clouds.
No, see, they have the moon right here, Adam.
Oh,
not clouds at all.
I don't know if there's no way that's from here.
I don't know where else. It did come from the inbox. And then they have a second one. And then this guy, John Hawkins, he also posted one. And it looks like Mars. And then this one was clearly of the moon on that night.
Mm-hmm.
And another one, John Hawkins. John Hawkins was all over this lunar eclipse.
Really?
I don't know. Every time I look out, I'm like, oh man, that moon, it looks enormous and amazing. I'll take a photograph of it on my phone, and it looks like a pinprick of light in the distance. And it's just like, why can't my camera be as good as my human God-created eye, Adam? I just don't know.
I don't know science.
I just need a better camera. Maybe that's what we're talking about.
Oh, maybe. I find that too with like when I'm out hiking or whatever. I'm like, man, this is a pretty landscape. Take a picture and then like looks like trash compared to like just seeing it. What they say, pictures don't do it justice.
That's why you just have to live in the moment, frankly.
Yeah.
All these people living their lives through the camera lens, missing out on the
all day staring at each other through cameras on a camera as people watch on the camera.
Oh, yes.
It's different. It's different here.
Unlike us guys who are obviously in the same room
all
together,
these people
talking
living
to each
in
other.
camera world. Horrible heathens. Ugh. Terrible people.
Disgusting.
Trash. Ugh. You should all log off right now. You should turn this off and go outside and just walk and don't stop.
Take a walk at 10 o'clock at night. It's great.
There you go. It's very safe.
I don't know. We've had some gun shootings here. That's different than other guys.
Hey, it's hunting season.
It is hunting
Right?
season. That is true. I don't know why that would make it
That's what they're-
safer.
Because they're hunting deer in the city, obviously.
I don't think that's allowed. Not allowed. Rejected.
Hey, the deer came to attack me.
Boop, 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 boop. Adam, Detty, breaking news. Boop, 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 boop. Breaking news. Turns out, everyone, that the FBI had as many as 8 informants inside the Proud Boys in the months around January 6th Capitol attack. Recent court papers indicate. These reports are raising questions about how much federal investigators were able to learn from them before and after it took place. Da da da! Breaking news, no one knew this. The federal government had infiltrated the Proud Boys and other right-wing extremist groups in danger quotes. Shocked. I say shocked, I say to learn this.
And it's like, this is the first time I'm hearing about this.
This is the first time I'm hearing anything about this. But this person was surprised. What a mess! What a mess, says Crystal Ball. Fed had informants in the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Why didn't they prevent January 6th then? Riddle me this. They had informants, they probably had agents in that crowd, and yet they did nothing to stand in the way of that riotous attack, worse than 9/11. What say you? Were they...
What's crazy to me about all of that, and I'm sure anyone from the South knows, is anywhere south of the Mason-Dixon line, all they were talking about on talk radio was like, come to the Capitol on 1/6. It's going to be a big thing. I was like, there's no way they had no idea this would happen. It was every talk radio station. It was absolutely bananas because I drove down to Florida and back for Christmas, and that was 90% of what I was listening to on the radio. I was like, there's no way they didn't know there would be absolutely humongous crowds when they were calling people. And then the thing I thought was most interesting is some of the hosts who were full on fundraising, like buses and plane rides for people, multiple ones, because I followed up on this, ended up not being able to go for various reasons. Like, one of them was like, I'm so sorry I missed it, guys. Like, I had a surgery. So I thought that was like fascinating that multiple people who'd spent months like hyping everyone to go, of course, at the last minute had to pull out for various reasons. I was like, this is so clearly manipulated. Like, come on. Like, seriously.
No, it's legit. Worst attack since 9/11. Not staged.
And I can't believe the FBI didn't stop the thing.
I
They
know.
knew about it.
They had informants all over the place, Adam, but
They had informants. Why didn't they stop it?
yeah, they did nothing to stop this terrorist attack on our nation's capital. Oh, I just don't know why they wouldn't do it.
I feel like there's a missing step.
I guess we'll just never know, guys. Oh, but before we get too far afield, I want to talk about Kanye West.
Oh, boy.
Kanye West
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
is an American treasure.
Mm-hmm.
But recently he got in a bit of hot water. Oh, yeah. And he was making some statements that some people consider to be anti-Semitic. I don't want to get into it. I don't think there's some grand Jewish conspiracy. No Jewish globalist plot. Oh, wait, what's this? Adam, secrets revealed. There is a Jewish conspiracy. This is from the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire.
geez.
Jewish conspiracy, everyone. A Jewish conspiracy to take over American government. Oh, it's outrageous. I can't believe this is true. I can't believe we're revealing this on the show. And then after their hideous scheme is to leave you alone. And these are the four behind it. Dun, 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 dun. Spoiler, they're all libertarians, Jewish libertarians, and they just want you to have freedom and for the government to get out of your face. And if you're Ayn Rand, I think there's some weirdness there. But isn't she so striking?
Yes.
I love this photograph of her.
We love the 1930s Hollywood style headshot. It's wonderful.
It is very good. Adam, were you aware of this Jewish conspiracy?
I was not until I saw that.
Well, I'm just glad that we could use our platform here, to inform our 7 viewers and anyone in the future who watches this video.
Oh, we're gonna get a comment about that one. We got one about the space.
Well, that was the title of the episode too, and that was coming off of the Chappelle. I think the time before Chappelle comedy special, where he had made a reference to a Mel Brooks joke in History of the World, Part 2, where he Jews in space, and the title of the episode was just Space Jews. And people didn't like that. Well, one guy, I guess. I think actually there might have been 2 commenters. 6 months later, someone found the video. They're like, "This isn't right." Obviously, you didn't watch our excellent content, because no one does. But it was a good episode. And I liked it. Old Shlomo didn't, or whatever his name was. All right.
Oh, speaking of psychological operations.
Oh, excellent. Yes, thank you.
To go look, I posted the link to this on my Twitter. Everyone needs to read this. It's only 500 pages. December 2003. It's from the Army. Psychological operations, tactic, techniques, and procedures. These are all things that you see all the time now. And it's relevant to everything we've already talked about. And it's highly relevant. I've noticed this multiple times where I've called people out on it. People come in with comments that are just ridiculous. And if you tell them, I know what this is and what this technique is, a person who just appears and I can tell, this is an account, made, 2 months ago, and it has, 20, follows, 20 people, and they just start commenting all the time under me. And I tell them, I'm this is clearly not real, you're a puppet or something. And then they stop, and then sometimes they respond. But these are all, I'm going to read a couple of them out, if I may. I don't mean to hijack
Yes, please. I want to know all about this.
But I think this is fascinating because it's everything we see now. So, obviously, 500 pages. But it's not, there's only about 200 pages you actually have to read. So one chapter goes over the techniques you can use to create confusion and disarray, and how to plant seeds of doubt in populations and create divisions. Techniques are the methods used to present information to the TA. TA stands for target audience. Effective techniques are based on the conditions affecting the TA and the type of information being presented. The following are techniques common in PSYOP. Glittering generalities. These are intense, emotionally appealing words so closely associated with highly valued concepts and beliefs that the appeals are convincing without being supported by fact or reason. The appeals are directed towards such emotions as love of country and home, desire for peace, or freedom, glory, or honor. Transference. This technique projects positive or negative qualities of a person, entity, object, or value to another. It is generally used to transfer blame from one party in a conflict to another. Least of evils. This technique acknowledges that the COA being taken is perhaps undesirable, but emphasizes that any other COA would result in a worse outcome.
COA course of action.
Yes. Name-calling. Name-calling seeks to arouse prejudice in an audience by labeling the object of the propaganda as something the TA fears, loathes, or finds undesirable. Then, plain folk or common man. This approach attempts to convince the audience that the position noted in the PSYOP message or line of persuasion is actually the same as that of the TA, target audience. This technique is designed to win the confidence of the audience by communicating in the usual manner and style of the audience. Communicators use ordinary language, mannerisms, and clothes in face-to-face and other audiovisual communications when they attempt to identify their point of view with that of the average person. And then this one I noticed all the time too, insinuation. Insinuation is used to create or increase TA suspicions of ideas, groups, or individuals as a means of dividing the adversary. The PSYOP soldier hints, suggests, and implies, but lets the TA draw its own conclusions, presenting the other side. Some people in a target audience believe that neither of the belligerents is entirely virtuous. To them, propaganda messages that express concepts solely in terms of right and wrong may not be credible. Agreement with minor aspects of the enemy's point of view may overcome this cynicism. Anyway, there's more, but I mean, I thought it was so interesting how highly relevant that was to every day.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that a lot of times, so there's real people and there's...
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm on the call right now.
Oh, what? I just wanted to say,
Sorry. Trying to block it.
I think a lot of times you run into this situation where you have real people and on the internet, they do exist. And then they are engaging in debate or conversation, and they will do things like that. And I think that a lot of those techniques are also observations in how generally people are persuasive or attempt to talk to people or convince them of things in regular discourse. So I think that sometimes you can go too far and meme yourself into thinking that everybody's an agent trying to psyop you or whatever. But
I mean, I would say if you look at a series, so if it's sometimes there's accounts that like have just appeared, 2 weeks ago, they only reply to like you and 2 other people. They only follow based on like certain topics. Like there are a couple that if you look, they only will comment on anything people mention about like energy policy. Or they'll only comment when someone talks about like a specific political going thing. So that's
Section
like I know it's not
203.
every person.
I was thinking the same thing, Adam.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't parse exactly because it's like I don't know why exactly why they're targeting a particular post. There's a few things because there are those that seem to be not robots. So there's some kind of human behind it, but it is like a created out of whole cloth in the last week account that has a guy sitting there, and then their whole job is to search internet and reply guide to people who post keywords. And oftentimes you can do like a find, and you can see like there's a bunch of guys, and they're almost typing and posting the exact same phrases.
Yes.
And so it's some sort of coordinated campaign like this. And then there is the literal robots who do the same thing, but it's all auto-keyed, and then they will reply to whatever your post is. And I did a fun experiment. I saw somebody post
I was going to say, that would be near immediate of a response.
It was just like tagging your post, and so you would say whatever you say, and then after that you would post like this string of keywords that trigger the bots to respond. And it's obvious that what you've posted is nonsense as far as what they're replying to, but they read the keyword in their algorithm or whatever, and so then they post link to crypto site or whatever it is that they're pushing or whatever. And then there is people who have a face reputation online, but they're some sort of organized lobbying group. And it was I ran into this and I thought it was the strangest thing ever, but I think I was trapped. I think I was tricked. I think Crab Crawler intentionally trapped me into getting involved in these people. Because I have a thing, and I get triggered by people who are or in favor of or against Section 230 protections. I don't know if you're familiar with these. They're
230. I said 203.
is it 203? I don't know. Whatever it is. What it
I have
is
no clue. I think you're right. 230.
is it's the protection against like platform providers from suits related to things that people post on their site. And there was a lobbying group that was coming out in favor of it, but it was secret and they didn't disclose this. But Crabcrawler posted a thing to trigger their response. Because he's got a big enough audience where he can post a thing and then he can get them to respond. And he somehow knew that they were doing this, so he just posted a thing to get them to hop in. And then I replied, and then I was getting piled on by like 6 different accounts that were all just like coordinated attacking me about Section 230 protections for like Twitter.com. And it was very bizarre. And this doesn't even get into like other more sinister things that I haven't personally encountered, like state action and stuff like that. I'm sure that goes on. Very strange. And I don't know, depending on also private actors and things like crypto manipulation and stuff like this, particularly in the environment we're currently sitting in with the FTX stuff. And I don't even want to get into that. Some sort of chase the weasel game. What was that called, Adam? You looked into that. You were Adam. You were doing all the research on that.
It was like if someone come across our timeline, I'd be like, "Why? How much more absurd and degenerate can this thing get?" And apparently, even more absurd and degenerate is revealed every day.
Oh, speaking of those guys, hey, did you guys know there's a hot New York Times speaking event that's coming down the pipe on November 30th? Oh man, look at this crew. We've got Secretary Janet Yellen's going to be there, Mark Zuckerberg, President Volodymyr Zelensky himself, and also Sam Bankman-Fried, CEO of FTX. They will all be at this New York New York Times speaking event that is still up, scheduled for November 30th, 2022. Very exciting. I hope I get to hear what these titans in modern day have to say about things such as the importance of very stable and not scam crypto exchanges. Detty, did you lose any money to FTX?
No.
Were you?
I don't have any money to lose, so.
Yeah, samesies.
No, I told people always ask me this. I guess people do. I should take my own advice because I got hammered for this a long time ago. I was telling everyone to buy Tesla. People got so pissed at me. Then it split twice since I told them. So I know people who messaged me. They made a bunch of money on Tesla. Tesla's Boeing. It's the U.S. It's an appendage of the U.S. government at this point. It's not going to lose. And Palantir. And I was like, buy Palantir, Tesla, you'll make a bunch of money. And then I said, earlier this year, I said commodities, because it's commodities world now. And especially there are certain commodities that, like, the 3 places that make them are, like, Russia, Belarus, and Canada. So it's like, so invest in Canada, because obviously the Western alignment is going to go with Canada. Anyway, long story short, crypto, earlier this spring, it's when they announced they're going to go to quantitative tightening. I was like, get out, because unlimited liquidity is over. Everything's going to go down. Everything is just a product of unlimited liquidity and low interest rates. So when they finally announced tightening, which is too late, and if they did it a year ago, maybe they could have had a much softer landing. That's when everyone just get out, because it's all going to change. And then July, the yield curve inverted. So that's when the countdown started. July, yield curve inversion of 10-year, 2-year. So since 1955, 6 to 24 months after the yield curve inverts, you get recession. So to me, it's just written in stone. Simple.
I see. I don't understand.
I've heard those buzz phrases before, so I'm just like nodding along. Yeah.
No, I'm like a historical cycles freak, which anyone who knows me knows. So that's what I follow, the history, and I like the facts. So that's my take.
I think that's interesting, and I don't know, because I don't know that crypto has existed through a like in its modern predominant state through a recession until recently, and I wouldn't necessarily think they would be tied to the same thing because it seems to be on its own market to some extent.
Because it's still an expression of excess liquidity. Like, who's putting money into this imaginary stuff unless they have a bunch of cheap extra money lying around? So once that goes, then you get tightness quickly, very quickly.
Drug
I mean,
dealers.
I say this all the time. Crypto is excess liquidity turned into carbon emissions. And it's cheap energy. You know, people pretend it exists in this magical world, but anything digital requires massive amounts of cheap subsidized fossil fuels. Because energy, you need cheap energy for this to be feasible, to run the algorithms that create this value. So the second you get a tight market and you get pressure on energy, then you're going to have problems already, regardless of the fact that it's entirely a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. But that's the thing is when people have money, people have extra money, they can play with it and put it into these, JPEGs and whatever, the NFTs. But as soon as it's like, indicating that hard times are coming, it drops fast.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on a call. Could I?
Oh, I didn't know you were
Yeah, I'm not. I'll let you know.
I'm so sorry. I'm so afraid of them.
Okay. Sorry, no.
Detty,
Listen.
Detty, I just had to say, I can't believe you have a Christmas tree up.
Oh, I just did it today.
Oh.
I'm ready.
Out of pocket. Out of pocket. I'm throwing the flag on this. That's not allowed.
Oh, more. Look.
Oh, it's just is it a week early?
I have massive, sparkly cone Christmas tree.
It's still. You can't. It's still Thanksgiving time.
No, I love being basic. Sorry. Look, I have this massive sparkly.
Oh, you're committing crimes. You're committing crimes.
No, I love it. The older I get, there's no joy or happiness in life, so I love cheesy stuff now. I live for it. Sparkles, decorations, it's wonderful.
One more example of the two genders.
Women.
Women, I say women, and I don't know. You look at some of these stats sometimes, like for example, off of the dating sites, and it's difficult to discount that there is some sort of strange power imbalance, and it's not what feminists might say the traditional way that it goes. But again, I guess this deals with sex, and so I think that might have a lot to do with it.
Charts. Well, the thing on both sides is you get these weird, creepy guys who complain, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. If you're a weird, creepy guy, no matter where you are in time or space, then you're not going to get, plenty of guys I know tons of people who, went on a dating site within, a few months, found a girlfriend, locked it down, got married. You don't have to be an Adonis. But if you're, weird and creepy and bitter, it seeps through the screen and people can tell.
Yeah, it's the vibes based relationship economy. But this was an interesting chart. Old Random Eddie posted. He said the two genders in the first chart shows 26 years old females on Tinder, and it shows the number of swipes. They left swiped 14,512 times, and right swiped 582. I can't math that ratio, but that's a large.
Wait, is right swipe yes or no?
Right swipe would be yes. I like your vibes. Right swipe. To which they received 301 matches, and from those 301 matches, they had chats with 171 potential matches, and then they went on 54 dates from those, and this is on Tinder for 188 days. And they reaped from those 54 dates 0 relationships, 0 marriages, but 37 casual sex encounters. And it's it's not very good, right? No relationships gained. It was only, 188 days, so 6 months.
Is this of a woman or a man?
These are women users, female users, 26 years old. And I'm like,
And
well,
they shared this themselves?
I'm guessing they can directly draw it out of the Tinder data. I'm
Well,
going
maybe
to
that's
say
what they
that.
were looking for. Maybe they just wanted to hang out.
Yeah, maybe. Even this, though, I thought that these stats themselves were grim, and then I saw these ones.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, there's more? I'm ready.
21 years old men
Mm-hmm.
on Tinder for 3 years. I don't know what this is. Anyway, whatever the timetable is. Anyway, they have left swipes for 13,000, and then they
Mm-hmm.
right swipe. So this was completely inverted from the last one, even more so. But there were 39,260 right swipes, and
Okay.
of those, there were 2 matches. And of those 2 matches, two
Well,
matches.
I mean, maybe this is like a real gremlin. Who knows?
I don't
Yeah,
think.
maybe he was short. Maybe he was under 6 foot.
See, no, height is literally, it's not real. I know girls I know, as long as they're cool, no one has. This is what my college roommates called it. They said it's not that they're short, it's acquired short guy syndrome. It's when they get like this weird thing about it, and then they're like preemptively a dick, and then it's like a turn off. But I've never known anyone who, like, if they liked a guy, they didn't care about their height. Like, I've never personally known a girl.
Is that the same thing as Napoleon syndrome?
Probably very similar, but we called it, we called it like acquired short guy syndrome, where they were like preemptively a jerk because they thought people would judge them for it, and it made them annoying. And then short guys we knew who were like gregarious, outgoing, didn't make a deal of it, like never had any problems.
I don't
But
know.
I'm in a biased percent.
Man, let's see.
And I didn't care as long as they were interesting. Like, it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. I find that that's usually true. When it comes down to rubber meets the road, when you find somebody that you want to be with, I think that like a lot of these dating like exceptions, like I would never date a guy that's under 5'9" or whatever, smokes cigarettes, until you meet a guy that's 5'8" and he smokes occasionally and he's really cool and you have a connection, and then all that stuff's like, well, I don't care about any of that. He was cool and we fell in love.
Yeah, he's cool. He was smoking, right?
Oh, my computer battery is low. Okay, let me plug this in. I'm sorry. I charged it all the way up and it's saying it's low. Let me charge it again. I'm going to be out.
Detty's the victim of the laptop battery conspiracy
Oh.
that I feel afflicts most people.
I'll charge mine to get ready to write or to edit, and I was like, step away, and then,
Sorry about that.
go back to doing it, and it's just like 20%. I'm like, what the?
I just have to
Maybe
leave
last time I charged it, it turns out I didn't charge it yesterday. It was like 4 days ago.
I just have to leave mine plugged in, but it's fine. It's fine, Detty. It's fine.
I'm learning.
If I unplug it, it will die.
I'm learning. I need to put a giant sign that says "Do not disturb," and I need to plug everything in and have it ready to go.
But this isn't the only area in which women and men differ. I don't know if you're familiar with murder podcasts.
Oh, true crime?
Yeah, but they appear to be.
No, I don't listen to it. It's brain candy for women. I hate it.
It's
terrible.
It's being driven by women, but
it's brain candy. It's brain candy for women. It's sugar for your brain because it makes you obsess over individual things totally out of your control, and they're addicted to the high they're getting off the adrenaline spikes. It's literally like a drug. It drives me nuts because there's nothing cumulative you learn from it, which is why I just need to get rid of it. Terrible.
Well, someone posted that what's a random tweet that pops into your head and have you dead every time, to which Michael Hobbs replies, me, brutally murdered and found dumped on the side of the highway. 2 35-year-old women with a podcast. Okay, murder muffins, we got a real oopy goopy spoopy story for you today. Squarespace ad. Are you looking to expand your... And I do say this, acknowledging that my wife did tell me this afternoon that she had just started a new true crime podcast.
Cut off her internet access. Change the Wi-Fi password.
She can't get enough. It's these women,
It's
tell
funny.
you.
No, it's funny, Zach, because we were just talking about it earlier this week about the true crime stuff, and I find it distasteful to the victims. But that's just,
I mean, this might be a little extreme. To me, it's like snuff for women. It's because they're just obsessed with like the gore and the murder aspect and like the thrill of it. And I'm like, I don't think we need this 24/7. Plus, I don't think it's good to be paranoid. Stress is what really kills you. You're gonna die of a heart attack from the stress you get from listening to this all the time before you die from like a psycho murderer popping out of a bush.
I don't know what it is, but I don't think that it's the thrill of that anxiety of there being a psycho murderer, and I don't think it's the gore necessarily of people being murdered, but I think that women in general are intrigued by the murderer.
Like a crush, but that is a thrill.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's the thrill. I'm saying it's the like adrenaline spike thrill.
It's the dangerous.
Yeah, look at
man.
how handsome was Ted Bundy. I mean, come on.
I don't think that even matters because I don't think that they were that handsome. Like people were going crazy over the freaking
that was
Dahmer
his
guy
thing.
or whatever.
But physical, like your idea of handsome to women, it's like different. Like they'll still think they're attractive because they're attracted to the idea of this person with like physical.
He's an apex predator, sociopath.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what their face looks like. It's like, oh, this guy could kill me. That's so intriguing and exciting.
Oh, that's interesting. Let me look at this completely unrelated video that Adam sent me earlier.
Oh, God,
if we had a fight, how would you make it up to me?
Contestant number 1.
Hey, how are you?
I missed you.
So I would gaslight you into you thinking you're the problem, and then I would abuse you emotionally till you get to a point where you only get satisfaction from me, and if I tell you you look good or anything like that, and then I would start slightly treating you.
Guy's
better
a
to
monster.
And then it would be just off and on.
Obviously, she was going to reject this idiot.
Drug to you, where even when you're not around me and we break up, like, you're yearning for like nicotine. Oh, and if that doesn't work, I'd go to a movie.
If all else fails, a movie. Okay.
All right, who are you most attracted to?
The first one, the black.
What? What?
If we had a fight.
What?
It was a joke.
What?
It was funny. That's why.
It was a very sinister joke.
It is, but that's what it is. It's humor. He's interesting.
He seemed to have a lot of details about how he would manipulate and abuse this woman. That's what really gets me.
True crime podcast. True. That's why she likes to make
That's
them together.
exactly right. There's something about that, and it's the classic bad boy trope or whatever it is. It's like the classic friend-zoned nice guy trope thing, where that they often pillory in movies and things, where they end up giving the nice guy the bone or whatever, and he gets the girl at the end of the day or whatever, even though that's not how it goes down in real life. But yeah, it's there's something about that guy who's like, he's kind of is a dick, and I don't know, he treats me not so good, but he's like the aloofness, the danger, he tells fun jokes after he talks about manipulating me. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint it any more than that, and that's just my vibes based. I'm trying to get more in touch with my vibes, Detty. See, this is what it is.
Your which vibes? Your womanly vibes?
Correct.
Your feminine energy. You're gonna channel it and power it now.
I think it's been helping my relationship with my wife to be able to understand her more and understand that it's more of an intuition than a understanding of things. It's an understanding on a different level than I would understand something, and it helps to kind of understand where that's coming from, because then it can alleviate conflict between the genders.
Couples.
Yeah, but it's like sometimes those vibes might lead you astray and into the arms of a dangerous man. and sometimes it might lead you to go on unhinged feminist rants on Twitter.com.
Mm-hmm.
For example,
Oh no, here we go. Okay.
just had a male physician colleague refer to me as a girl. As in, I love working with you girls. Squinty eye, cussing mad face emoji. I have a PhD. I teach at Stanford and UCSF. Wrote 2 books. On the board of international pain orgs. What will it take to be considered an equal in medicine? Question mark, question mark, question mark, thumbs down. Hashtag so tired of this.
You see, the thing is, if he said something else, she would have complained too. Like, if he said female, she would have been like, females. If he said women, she would have been like, is that fully inclusive? I don't know. I think they just want to complain.
Adam and I were talking about this, and we said, I can't even count on, all my fingers and toes all the times I've been me and Adam have been referred to as the boys.
Yeah, like the boys, the girls, and girls do it all the time. They refer to themselves as the girls, so you can't run around and then be like, oh my god, how dare you refer to me as the girls.
Yeah. So I don't completely understand this, but there's something that, I don't know, maybe because you're going on the internet to talk about this too, so there might be some sort of virtue signaling thing going on here. She's talking to, see, now I'm going back on my training now. It's vibes based, right? And so she needs to communicate these vibes that she has had this thing happen, and now to send it out there like this is not something that we need to accept, and she's not going to take it. Maybe there's something like that going on.
I'm not good at this because I grew up in such a strong matriarchy that I didn't even encounter feminism until I was older, on the internet. I hadn't even heard about feminism. That's how strong the matriarchy was. It wasn't even relevant. So my conception later was just only molded by witnessing it secondhand, I suppose. And a lot of the arguments to me, I don't fully understand. It's like looking at it through a looking glass. It's not relevant to my life, and it never formed me. So I never really understand that, if that makes any sense.
Oh, no.
It was just a total matriarchy. So I was just like, oh, that's just how things are. We didn't have to be like, oh, we're feminists and we're oppressed and the men do this, because it just didn't exist. I don't know.
Yeah, there's that interesting thing, because I think that there were abuses that happen and still do in society where, women are treated poorly and badly and not as equals or whatever. And I think that was then it was expanded to, because I didn't live in, 1913 America, I don't understand what the suffragettes were doing.
Well, now I think the problem is it's corporate girl power, which is different from feminism and equality. I think they're 2 different things. And we conflate them all the time. I think that's the source of a lot of friction, personally.
And I think it's also strange that in this environment, in this pro-woman world that we live in now, where even calling women girls can be taken as a vibes-based conclusion to be a anti-feminist assault on them, that they would treat Melania so poorly.
Melania, come back, babe.
I will vote Trump, especially for Melania, as First Lady. We've been embarrassed in this regard for so long, we've forgotten to be mad about it. And the Lugan press consistently denied her the credit she was due. I agree, Conan. To which Blue Doc replies, she was a soft porn actress who got here on an Einstein visa and then used chain migration to get her parents here.
Based,
exactly. So you're saying she's a committed family woman who understands the system.
The businesswoman.
So
strong. Feminist, I support it.
So, exactly. Me getting in touch with my feminist side. We must do it. We must support Donald Trump. We must bring him back for Melania, because she deserves it, folks.
Have you seen the amazing modeling pictures of her where she's on a plane and this silver space outfit, like doing this like James Bond thing. They're really good. They're my favorite Melania pictures.
Oh yeah, no, she was is a beautiful woman, and I think she was a great model. But she because of her association with the worst tyrannical, awful, stupid president that ever existed as his wife, she just can't get a break in the press.
I feel like she should have leaned into being European more. She could totally market herself internationally. I think that's what she needs to do. Pivot a little.
I agree.
Isn't she? She was the first immigrant first lady, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I think her modern recent times.
I think she tried that though, and every time she did anything, and this was classic media during the Trump era, was anything that you did would have to be twisted in the media to bad thing. So there had to be some critical element. It's the same grift they were doing against technology that recently came out. There was a journalistic conspiracy for all the major news outlets that whenever you write anything about technology, it has to be a critical twist. No positive news. All right. Here we are at 10:04 at the end of the show, and we must check in with Ice-T with our ice cold fact of the week. Coming to ya straight from Ice-T himself. Ice cold facts. Relevance is based on the perspective of who you're talking to. To a teenager, it may be, what's the newest Jordans? To a baller, it might be, what's the price of jet fuel? Different things are relevant to different people. Ice cold facts.
Thank you, Ice-T.
Ice-T spits the truth. Once again.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Ice-T is also an American treasure. And
I used to watch his show with Coco Tea or whatever. It was hilarious.
Oh.
I think it was on VH1 or something. It was great. It was beautiful.
He has a wonderful relationship with his wife and daughter. He's a successful businessman, actor. He's got his heavy metal band. He's still touring, and in fact, he's going to be in that Vegas show that's the boys were talking about next May.
Oh.
So I might just have
I
to
on the F1 race. I need to figure that out.
But
I want our tickets to the F1 Vegas race.
you and your F1 racing, Detty. Oh, jeez. All right, but that's our show. That's it. That's it. It's over. This is it. This is the end of the show. We're done. It's happened. The show is over now, and we hope you liked it. Everyone out there in TV land who is watching right now. If you did, smash like, subscribe, share it with all of your friends. You can follow us on social media. Our social media is on the screen, except for Detty's, who is at ODDETTE.
Yeah, and the O is 0.
Zero.
DETTE.
Detty, did you have anything you'd like to plug here at the end of the show?
No, I don't have anything.
Excellent. Adam, and this is key. At the end of every episode, Adam has a moment to say something poignant or to reflect on anything, to speak to the audience. Adam, do you have anything you'd like to add here at the end of the show?
I never get my homework done. No, I don't have any. I don't have anything.
Ah, excellent. Same as always.
I'm just keeping with it.
All right, folks. We will see you next time on Triggered. Bye-bye.